second-year class. 1B was having a quiet morning. Then the teacher stepped in with an announcement that would shatter the silence.
Everyone, we have a new transfer student. Please give a warm welcome to Sakura.
Nice to meet you all. I am Sakura. I hope we can be friends.
The moment the door opened, Sota's heart stopped. That voice, that name, it couldn't be.
Sakura? The same Sakura who moved away when we were 9. No, it's not possible.
But there she was, the girl who made a promise under the cherry tree 8 years ago. The girl who had never sent a single letter. The teacher pointed to the empty seat beside Sota. Sakura walked over and settled in as if she'd never been there before.
She's acting like a complete stranger. Does she really not recognize me?
Nice to meet you, Sota-kun. I hope we can get along.
In that moment, Sota realized he was the only one who knew the truth. And the truth was more painful than any lie. The next day, Sota watched Sakura like a hawk. Every glance, every word. He was determined to find cracks in her perfect stranger act.
Here, you forgot your coffee. Black, right? The way you like it.
Sakura froze the moment she spoke. She had never been told about his coffee preference.
I mean, most guys like black coffee, right? Just a guess.
How did she know? Only Sakura knew I can't start my day without that exact brand.
Wait, that has peanuts. You are allergic, aren't?
She stopped herself, but the damage was already done. No one else in the class knew about his severe peanut allergy.
How could you possibly know that?
It's just a coincidence. Don't read too much into it.
That night, Hiro texted back, "Bro, you are projecting." Sota didn't reply. He just stared at the childhood photo on his phone, the promise under the cherry tree burning in his chest. The next morning, Sota decided to test her with memories no stranger could know.
Remember that game we used to play? Catching cherry blossom petals before they hit the ground.
I don't know what you are talking about. That sounds like something from a manga.
Her voice wavered, and she couldn't meet his eyes. The cracks were widening.
What about the promise under the cherry tree? You promised me something important.
Her hand on the desk trembled. She quickly hid it in her lap.
Sakura, do you know me? Really?
I already told you. We just met. Please stop this.
But her eyes glistened. A single tear escaped before she could stop it. She fled the classroom. Sota followed, and at twilight he found her standing under the old cherry tree, silently crying. That night, Sota couldn't sleep. His mind kept replaying the day she left, rain soaking her pinky swear, a promise made under the cherry tree when they were 9, a promise he had never broken. The next afternoon, Sota headed to the clubroom to grab notes he'd left behind, but a voice stopped him cold.
It's only a year, Mom. I know. I just have to be strong and not get too attached.
Only a year? Is that why she's pretending?
I'll just be the transfer student. It's easier for everyone, even for him.
The call ended. Through the door, Sota could hear her muffled sobs. He retreated silently, his mind a storm. The mystery had shifted. Now he had a time limit, but still no reason. The cherry tree promise suddenly felt heavier. 1 year. What could that possibly mean?
I need to know why, and I won't stop until I find out.
Sota went straight to the school office the next morning. He needed facts, not guesses. The staff confirmed it. Sakura's father had a 1-year work contract. The family would have to move again when it ended.
A 1-year contract. That's her deadline. That's why she's so scared.
He found Hiro by the lockers and pulled him aside before class.
What if she's pushing me away because she has to leave again? She's only here for a year.
That would be messed up. But why do you care? You barely even know this new girl.
Because she's not new. She's the girl I promised to marry. When we were 9.
The memory hit him again. The cherry blossoms, the rain, the fierce determination of a child who truly believed forever was possible.
If she leaves again and we got close, It would hurt just as much. She's trying to protect us both. I have to hear it from her. But what can I say that won't make her run further away?
Sota could only think of one way to reach her. He wrote a note and slipped it into her locker before morning class. Cherry tree, after school. I know, after school. Sakura appeared under the cherry tree, her steps hesitant. The note had worked, but her guard was up.
I know you are the Sakura. I promise to marry. Please, don't run away this time.
Yes, it's me, but I need you to pretend I am a stranger. Please, Sota, I can't do this again. Saying goodbye once almost broke me. A year isn't enough time.
But pretending hurts too. Every day I have to act like you are a stranger. It tears me apart.
It'll hurt less than goodbye. I am sorry, Sota. I really am.
She turned and ran, her sobs fading into the twilight. Sota stood rooted to the spot, the note still in his hand.
She's trying to protect me. But how can I just pretend we're strangers after everything?
The next day, Sota found Hiro on the school rooftop. He needed someone to talk to, even if it was just to hear how crazy it all sounded.
She admitted it. Hiro. She's my childhood friend, but she wants me to pretend we're strangers. Because she's leaving in a year.
So you are telling me she's the one, and she's leaving. Maybe you should just let her go. A year of happiness followed by goodbye might destroy you both. If you start something knowing it ends, you are just signing up for guaranteed heartbreak. You gotta think about that, man.
He's right. But how do I just walk away from the girl I promised forever to?
After class, Sota stayed behind to clean up. That's when he noticed a notebook under Sakura's desk. It fell open to a page covered in his name. Sota, 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 Sota. Over and over. I still love him so much. But if I let myself feel it, the goodbye will break me again.
She's still the girl I promised to marry. But she's terrified. What do I do now? Ignore her pain and mine, or risk everything for a year?
Unable to stay idle, Sota left her favorite childhood candy on her desk before class. A silent message only she would understand. When Sakura arrived, she froze. That candy, she hadn't tasted it in years. Her hand trembled as she reached for it. She glanced at Sota, but he was looking out the window, his shoulders tense. The next morning, a tiny origami flower rested on her desk. The same flower he'd folded for her when they were 9. This time, Sakura didn't freeze. She crushed the flower in her fist, her shoulders shaking. Right after school, Sakura cornered him in the hallway. Her voice was a trembling blade.
Stop it, Sota. Why can't you just let me go?
Because every day I lie and pretend you are a stranger. Something inside me dies.
Her palm cracked across his cheek. The sound echoed like a gunshot in the empty hall. She whispered, "I am sorry," and fled, her footsteps fading. Sota touched his stinging cheek, his eyes now blazing with resolve. After the slap, Sota found himself walking to the one place that still felt like home. The cherry tree. He sat on the old bench, the bark rough against his back, and let the memories wash over him. The crunch of footsteps made him look up. Sakura stood frozen at the edge of the clearing.
Sakura, wait. Please don't run again.
She hesitated, then slowly walked over and sat on the far end of the bench, a distance between them.
I've loved you since we were kids. That's why I can't do this, knowing I'll have to leave again.
If you love me, then why are you pushing me away? Why not make the most of the time we have?
Because saying goodbye almost killed me once. I am not strong enough to survive it again, Sota.
Tears streamed down her face. The silence that followed was heavier than any words. Sota couldn't find the words to comfort her. All he could do was sit there, feeling her pain as his own. Sota finally broke the silence, his voice soft but steady. It was time to take a chance.
I get it. You are afraid, but I am too. What if we just try one day?
One day, What would that change?
Everything. If we can have one day where we're really us, maybe that's enough. Maybe it's a start.
Sakura stared at him, her tears still falling, but something shifted in her eyes. A crack in the fortress.
Okay, one day, Saturday, just us.
A single tear of relief rolled down her cheek. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was a start. Sota allowed himself a faint smile. The first real one in days. They sat in silence a while longer, but the distance between them felt just a little smaller. As the stars came out, they made no plans beyond Saturday. But for now, that was everything. Saturday morning, Sota arrived early. Sakura appeared in a summer dress, nervous but smiling, and the years melted away.
You are early. I thought I'd be first.
They visited the old park. The childhood carving on the tree trunk was still there, weathered but unbroken.
It's still here, just like us.
At the cafe, they talked about everything. Laughter came easier than either expected.
We missed so much time, but today feels like we never stopped being us.
The arcade brought out their competitive streaks. Sakura beat him at racing, her laugh ringing out. Evening found them back under the cherry tree. The day's joy pressed against the deadline they'd ignored.
I don't want this day to end. I don't want to pretend anymore.
He answered, "Then don't. Let's make the most of every day we have." She nodded, and he pulled her into a gentle kiss. From that day on, they walked to school together. Hands brushing, the pretense finally gone. Lunchtimes became their secret world. She'd slide her bento closer, and they'd share quiet laughter. They studied in the library, heads bent over the same book, knees touching under the table.
So you really did it. I hope you know what you're doing, man.
I know exactly what I am doing. I am loving her, Hiro, every minute I get.
Just take care of your heart too, okay?
But alone at night, Sakura would stare at her calendar. 10 months left. Each marked day a small victory and a smaller defeat, but in the daylight, she never let it show. They built a fortress of moments.
This is enough right now. This is everything.
Autumn painted the town in gold. At their corner cafe, they unfolded a napkin and dreamed.
Beach trip, festival, stargazing, first snow. We'll check them all off, won't we?
Each checkmark felt like a small victory and a smaller loss. They checked off the beach at sunset, but the tide kept pulling away. Autumn nights grew cold, and her laughter sometimes faded too soon.
I am so happy, Sota, but every moment reminds me we're running out of time.
Me too. But I'd rather be terrified with you than spend a lifetime wondering what if.
He pulled her into his arms, and they stayed like that. The silence saying what words couldn't. Outside, the first autumn rain began to fall, soft as a countdown. He held her tighter, wishing he could freeze the world. 3 months left, and the cracks in their fortress were starting to show. Sakura's excuses came more often. Sota stared at the screen. Another declined invitation. This wasn't like her.
She's pulling away again. I can feel it.
After school, he found her alone in the classroom, gazing through the window at the empty courtyard.
You are doing it again. Shutting me out. Talk to me, Sakura.
I am scared, Sota. Every happy moment makes me dread the end more.
That's why we have to hold on even tighter. Don't let the fear win.
She looked at him, her eyes a storm of hope and despair. He reached for her hand, but she pulled away, her shoulders trembling. Sota stood frozen. The distance between them felt wider than ever. Sota spent the next days visiting the school counselor, researching cities, mapping out a future she couldn't see yet. He found Sakura in the same quiet corner and placed a printed list of universities in front of her.
I've been looking at universities near where your dad might get transferred. There are good options.
But that's 2 years from now. So much can change.
Then we'll change together. I am not giving up on us.
Sakura's eyes widened, a war between hope and fear playing out on her face.
Just promise me you won't shut me out again. Let's fight for this together.
I'll try. I promise.
He pulled her into a tight embrace, planting a kiss on her forehead. The wall between them wasn't gone, but a crack of light was now visible. The final month came rushing in. Sakura's room was now a maze of labeled boxes, each one swallowing a piece of their year. Sota picked up an old photo of them, 9 and hopeful, and placed it carefully into a box.
I have something for you.
He opened a small box, revealing a charm bracelet with a delicate cherry blossom pendant.
It's beautiful. I'll wear it every single day. Thank you.
So you never forget the promise we made under that tree.
She fastened the bracelet around her wrist, tears streaming, and then fell into his arms without another word. For a long moment, they held each other in the half-empty room, the silence heavier than any packed box.
Promise me we'll make every moment count until the very end.
And somewhere, the cherry tree stood in full bloom, waiting for them to return and keep their promise. The sun rose on their last morning. They walked through the school gates one final time, their footsteps echoing in the quiet. They sat in the empty classroom where she had first spoken those words. Now there were no words left.
I'll never forget this room or that day.
At the cherry tree, they carved their initials beside the old one. A pinky swear sealed their silent, impossible promise. Evening came too fast. The moving truck sat packed in front of her house, her mother's call echoing through the still air.
I love you, Sota. Always.
She climbed into the car. Through the rear window, she watched him, tears streaming, the bracelet catching the last light. The car pulled away, shrinking down the street until it was just a memory. Sota stood motionless, the weight of the year pressed down, crushing every breath. The cherry tree stood empty in the fading light. The promise felt broken. Sota returned home in a fog. He collapsed on his bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying her final wave in his mind. Hours passed. The sky outside his window turned pitch black. He felt hollow. The bracelet on his wrist a heavy reminder. A frantic knocking shattered the silence. He jolted upright, heart pounding. Who could it be at this hour? He stumbled to the front door and swung it open. Sakura stood there, breathless, hair wild, tears and a dazzling smile fighting for space.
Sota, the company, Dad's assignment. They want him to stay, permanently.
What? Are you serious? This isn't a dream?
It's real. We're not leaving. I am not leaving you.
Sota stood frozen for a heartbeat. Then they crashed into each other's arms, laughter and sobs mixing in the cold night air. He held her as if she might vanish again, every fiber of his being refusing to let go. The countdown had stopped. The clock broke. And for the first time, tomorrow was open.
We didn't even get on the train. The call came when we were at the station. Mom and Dad are unpacking right now.
You mean you are really staying? For good?
For good. I am not going anywhere, Sota. I am home.
Sota swept her into another embrace, this time with no trace of sadness, only relief.
Remember our promise under the cherry tree? It's not impossible anymore.
I never forgot. Not for a single day.
They held each other on the doorstep, the cold forgotten, the future suddenly something to run toward. The cherry tree promise, born when they were 9, was no longer a child's dream. It was a plan, and as they stood there, Sota realized the 1-year countdown had been the best gamble of his life. Because sometimes, the biggest risks bring the most permanent rewards. The next morning, they walked to the park hand in hand. The sun was warm, and for once, there was no countdown. The cherry tree stood waiting, tiny pink buds dotting its branches like a silent promise of renewal.
It's starting to bloom again, just like us.
Marry me someday. Like we promised.
Ask me again when we're 20. I'll say yes.
They laughed, the sound carrying through the park like wind chimes. Then he leaned in and kissed her, soft and sure. The promise they made as children was no longer a fragile hope. It was carved into their hearts, as permanent as the initials on the tree. They sat on the bench, hands intertwined, watching the buds catch the morning light and dreaming of all the springs to come. And they knew with absolute certainty that the cherry tree would be there when they were old, just as it had been when they were 9. Together, they watched the future bloom. The next morning, they walked into the classroom together. No more hiding, no more pretending.
About time you two stopped being weird. You are practically glowing.
We had a lot to work through, but it's good now. Really good.
Sakura, is there a reason you moved your desk so close to Sota's?
Yes, Sensei. I wanted to sit next to the person I've known since I was 5.
The classroom fell silent. Then a wave of murmurs rippled through the students.
Wait, since you were 5. So you knew each other all along?
He's my childhood friend, the one I promised to marry, and I am finally brave enough to love him.
Sota's grin spread wide. The secret was out, and the world didn't end. Instead, it felt like the world was finally starting. And just like that, the girl who had pretended to be a transfer student became the girl who was never a stranger at all. Just a childhood promise kept. Spring fully arrived. The cherry tree exploded in pink, a breathtaking canopy above their bench. They walked home under a shower of petals, the air sweet with the promise of forever.
I still can't believe this is real sometimes. It feels like a dream I'll wake up from.
It's real, and it's forever. No more countdowns, no more goodbyes.
They stopped at the tree, their tree, and touched the old carving. It was still there, after all these years. 8 years, 1 year of pretending, and 1 promise. Some things are worth the wait. Under the falling petals, they sealed their future with a kiss, just as they had imagined as children. Then they sat on the bench, her head on his shoulder, watching the petals dance in the breeze. The cherry tree stood witness, as it always had, to a love that began with a pinky swear and would last a lifetime. And the promise finally was kept.